Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Living on Blockchain. Today we are doing a deep dive episode where we'll break down a Web3 project worth knowing about. So, I recently saw a tweet that basically said that most Web3 projects do not die because they are not able to really move forward, find a PMF, or the founders lose steam. It's primarily because there are not enough people who hear about it. So we are here to change that. We will keep it short and sharp, and we'll give you a little context. So today we are going to do the deep dive with Vaultro Finance on the XRP Ledger. So we are looking at the DeFi protocol. It has just launched this May, and it is building a place that is, let's say, not typically the DeFi hotspot. I'm talking about Vaultro Finance, a new DeFi platform that has chosen to build directly on the XRP Ledger, like I mentioned before. Let's get into what it is, what is different, why this could actually be bold, or is it going to be like a WIMP? Let's go right in and let's talk a little about it. So at the very onset, we'll talk a little about the website itself. So once I do open the website, it tells me right at the beginning that it's a decentralized investing platform. Vaultro Finance lets you create, manage, and invest in community-powered portfolios, all on-chain, non-custodial, and built for speed. So obviously there is a little bit about Vaultro Finance, that it's powered by XRPL hooks and escrow. It's non-custodial, fully on-chain, instant liquidity and low fees, custom fund creation and governance tools, advanced analytics for token performance, and community-driven with DAO integration. These are the features that are there on the website itself. Then we have the finance use cases. There is the thematic funds, market cap funds, stablecoin diversification, tokenized asset funds. These are the use cases that they are looking at themselves. Their token, VLT, is a utility core, and it's basically going to be a part of their ecosystem. It enables holders to create decentralized funds, participate in governance by voting on features, funds, and protocol upgrades, and gain basically early access. So this is pretty much what is there at the beginning of their website. There is also a roadmap. So in stage 1, Q2, which is right now, it says that they're going to be doing the ideation phase, the website and social media launch, awareness campaign, community growth, the token TGE and pre-sale round, the DEX listing will happen, and Vaultro interface development will start. So in the upcoming, quarter, they are going to be finalizing the protocol architecture. They'll be doing the testnet, and the phase 1 of the testnet would be live. The roadmap is until Q3 of 2026. I'm not going to go into those details. You can check them out on your own on the website, which is vaultro.finance. There is an FAQ section as well, and there is a partner section which mostly has media, mentions on Benzinga, Business Insider, Market Watch, Street Insider, APN News, TradingView, etc. And then there is a footer there where they're asking for my email. Strangely, there is no mention about the team here, which I find a little disconcerting. And there is a prompt for me to go and buy Vaultro Finance token. They are looking to raise 20,000 XRP, and so far they have raised 2,400 approximately. The pre-sale allocation and all the other details are there on once you do click on buy Vaultro token, and the token distribution allegedly will happen immediately after the pre-sale ends. There is no particular date, I think, for when the pre-sale will end. Okay, I can see it now. I can see it on their website. It says so basically this pre-sale is going to be live in the next 29 days. Today we are talking on the 13th of May. So, for the next 29 days, people can get in and buy these tokens. Their Telegram has around 1,700 odd people in it, and it looks fairly active. There are updates that are being pushed out. Here again, I'm a little perturbed that there is no mention of the team here. But any which way, let's now go into what I had in mind. So, Vaultro Finance is obviously newly launched. It's a newly launched DeFi protocol. It's offering DeFi basics, lending, borrowing, and yield farming, but with one key twist. It's built natively on the XRP Ledger. That means transactions are fast, finality is near instant, and gas fees would be negligible. So think of this as a little like Aave meets XRP speed, with a focus on bringing DeFi functionality to a historically more decentralized, payments-oriented chain. So why it matters? This matters for a few reasons. First, XRP isn't typically associated, with DeFi. You don't have a lot of people talking about Ripple and DeFi in the same breath. It's been seen more as a payments rail, efficient, scalable, but not exactly programmable in the way Ethereum or Solana are. And that is changing. We are kind of seeing a change there because a lot of people are now looking towards XRP, and with the protocol upgrades and native smart contract support becoming more mature here, Vaultro is also one of the more serious DeFi attempts, I think, in this intrust space. Secondly, transaction speed and costs are legitimately different here. For power users, that is convenience, and I think convenience is very big, especially for mass adoption to actually happen. For DeFi curious retail users, there is a lower friction onboarding, no worrying about ETH gas spikes or bridging USDC, USDT. Lastly, it's a signal. If DeFi protocols are now choosing XRP as a base layer, it means that the battle for base chains is still very much on, and that there is room to grow beyond the usual suspect. Now let's talk a little about the key features from what we've understood from their website and whatever they've kind of talked about. So let's break down what Vaultro is offering right now. Decentralized lending and borrowing. Users can basically lend assets to earn interest or borrow against collateral. The protocol is aiming for stable yield models, something DeFi has struggled with post 2021. And let's see how these guys are tackling it. Another key feature would be yield farming. So Vaultro's farming incentives are structured to reward liquidity providers in newly launched Vaultro tokens. So these tokens are, the TGE is about to happen. The pre-sale is on. We'll need to watch how sustainable this is because, even with all the details, we know that the market can be very brutal for newly launched tokens and how they kind of perform. We just recently had the launch of Shardium, and that did not really do very, very, very well. So, that kind of keeps happening because launching a utility token is one thing, but having the community really believe in the use cases is a whole different game altogether. So we'll need to see how sustainable that is. But the design basically aims to grow, balance basically the growth aspect with retention. So XRP Ledger integration is I think the main kicker. Vaultro uses XRP infrastructure to ensure lightning, fast confirmations, ideal for things like flash loans and liquidations, and perhaps seeing a more real time, having a real time view of the entire gamut of the investment that you've done. So it's not just a ported DeFi protocol; it's built to take advantage of the XRP's native architecture. So now that we've talked a little about the protocol, the website, and the key features, let's talk a little about the risk. That said, this isn't a slam dunk. XRP has a smaller on-chain DeFi user base compared to other EVM chains. Liquidity depth will be a challenge early on. How composable will Vaultro be with other DeFi primitives outside of XRP would also give us an idea about how scalable it can be and how big it can grow. There is, some regulatory clarity around Ripple, but it's still evolving. And this could either limit or accelerate Vaultro's growth depending on how it's interpreted. So I think, that is something that needs to be thought about a little bit more. But now, let's talk a little about perhaps the friction that I can foresee. Okay. So I really did genuinely believe that building on XRP is a double-edged sword. It's fast and cheap, but the XRP ledger wasn't originally designed for DeFi. So while smart contract support exists through hooks and sidechains, it's not as mature as the better tested, Ethereum. The dev tooling, composability, and the community support just aren't at the same level yet. That doesn't mean that it cannot change, but that is how things stand today. Liquidity is, like I said, is going to be a little thin at the launch. So this is obviously true for any DeFi protocol, but even so more on a chain where the DeFi culture is still emerging. So Vaultro will need more aggressive incentive models, and that is where it risks repeating the same high APY and, sudden dump cycle that we saw in 2020, 2021. Regulatory optics, like I mentioned, they still matter. It's something that is still evolving. Ripple has made a lot of headway in US courts, but XRP still sits in a gray zone. So this could create hesitation for serious capital earning, folks in the ecosystem, especially around, lending and yield. Limited interoperability. Like I said, composability will be a big deal when it comes to scale. So if you're not already in the, ecosystem, Vaultro might feel a little isolated. Bridging assets into the ecosystem isn't frictionless, and the protocol will need to work hard to be relevant beyond its native bubble. Let's talk a little about the branding and the UX, because that is something I talk a lot about and have been talking about for years. Compared to, the polished Ethereum native apps, Vaultro's branding and documentation still feel very early stage. And while, the devs are shipping, onboarding new users, it'll require more clarity, not just speed. Like I said, that, there was in a space where composability and liquidity networks are really king. Vaultro is entering with speed and cost advantages, but it still feels like it's building a DeFi city on a payments highway. The vision is there, the execution is very ambitious, but the ecosystem really needs to catch up fast, or Vaultro risks becoming a niche powerhouse rather than a network stand. So the project is led by a team of professionals. Chris Esparza, he's the CEO, Mason Jenkins is the CBO, and Ross Miotti is the COO. These are the three co-founders who previously served as moderators in various crypto communities. They've come together to establish Vaultro Finance with a shared vision of enhancing transparency and professionalism in the DeFi space. Their combined experience as investors and community leaders has been instrumental in shaping the project's direction. And this I am quoting directly from Cointelegraph. So this is a little about their team. Again, the fact that it's not there on the website makes it a little. I don't like that personally. I think people should know who they're dealing with, and it should all be available for everybody to see. There is a Git book available on the website. See if they have mentioned any other details, but I have taken a look, and from whatever I read, it does not mention the team as well. So that is my one problem with this, and I hope that these guys will fix it. So now here are the final takeaway. Vaultro Finance is not just another DeFi protocol, it's part of a broader trend. Protocols rethinking which base layers are best for speed, cost, and usability. If it really succeeds, Vaultro could become like an anchor DeFi project on Ripple, a sort of Uniswap moment for that ecosystem. Whether you're somebody who is an XRP native or just DeFi curious, this is a project to watch out for, especially if you're looking for faster, cheaper alternative to Ethereum-based DeFi, because let's face it, who is not? and that's a wrap on today's deep dive. If you found this useful, let me know what project should we cover next. Just shoot me a DM and reply with whatever you're building or whatever you're trying out, and I would love to try it out as well. I will be actually doing deep dive episodes where I'll be trying out the platform themselves as well, but considering Vaultro is still in its pre-sale stage, this is not the time to sort of try out the platform. I would be checking out their pre-sale and closely monitoring it. None of this is financial advice, it goes without saying. Please do your own due diligence as well. This is our overview on Vaultro Finance. Until next time, this is Tarusha, and you are listening to Living on Blockchain.